Melissa asks, "Hey, Coach Patrick, could you give me some tips to reduce snacking?" Don't we all have those moments, right? Those moments when it's late at night, when we've had a long, tiring, exhausting day, and all we want to do is just relax on a couch, right? And oftentimes during those moments is when, you guessed it, we reach for those unhealthy snacks, which are probably loaded with carbs and sugar. That's why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 reasons why we fall into unhealthy snacking. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and podcast. I'm your host, Coach Patrick Liu, your weight loss coach, nutritionist, and personal trainer. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of my videos, and use the hashtag AskCoachPatrick so I can answer your daily questions. Today's question comes from Melissa. Melissa is one of my members inside of my permanent weight loss program, and she asks, "Hey, Coach Patrick, could you give me some tips around snacking?" Now, Melissa, since you're part of my program, you already know what to snack on. You know what's a good snack, what's a bad snack. You know when to snack. You know how much to snack. However, there's a gap between knowing what to do and doing it. And so during our coaching call, Melissa explained to me that she knows that she shouldn't be having chips, donuts, candy bars, but from time to time she slips up and she wants to know how to reduce this. Well, Melissa, you're definitely not the only one that struggles with it. I know sometimes I struggle with this as well. It's normal. We're all human. And sometimes with our nutrition and snacks, we can fall into a negative mindset, right? It's not that one unhealthy snack that's going to ruin our results. It's those negative thoughts around the unhealthy snack, the guilt, the shame, the feeling of defeat and failure. And it's those negative thoughts that are more damaging than the unhealthy snack itself. So that's why it's so important to have a coach to continue to encourage you. That's why it's so important to be part of a community that's going to uplift and inspire you to be the best version of you. Now, when we slip and have unhealthy snacking patterns, right? Not if, when we slip into unhealthy snacking patterns, there's a gap between knowing what to do and doing it. There's a gap between intention and action. And when we can clearly identify the reason why we fall into unhealthy snacking, we can bridge the gap between intention and action. And so let's break down the 5 reasons why we fall into unhealthy snacks. Number 1, the reason why we fall into unhealthy snacking is cravings. We've all experienced it, that intense desire for a specific kind of food, the one that's really tempting, the one that's loaded with carbs and sugar. For a lot of us, it's chocolate. But I must admit, I'm not really a chocolate guy. But when it comes to ice cream, man, that's my ultimate weakness. And so let's face it, cravings can be quite challenging to resist. And the reason for this is because our brain and our taste buds are conditioned to crave for carbs and sweets. When we indulge in a sugary treat, our brain gets a dopamine hit, that feel-good neurotransmitter that brings us pleasure. And so naturally, our brain wants more of it. So we find ourselves craving for more sugar. However, there's a trade-off. As dopamine rises, another neurotransmitter called serotonin, it takes a dip. And serotonin is responsible for making us feel satiated and satisfied. As a result, we end up having even more carbs to experience the same level of satisfaction. To fight against this hormone tug-of-war, we need hormones on our side. I'm talking about leptin. And leptin's job is to send a signal to our brain telling it that, hey, I'm full, stop eating. One of the ways that we can activate leptin is by incorporating more protein into our diet. So the next time that you have evening cravings, go for a protein-packed dinner. Or if you have cravings in the afternoon or lunch, have a protein-rich lunch. Maybe have a protein snack, right? Maybe some eggs or some ham, tuna, Greek yogurt, protein bars, smoked salmon. All of these things are excellent choices. And not only will protein help curb the cravings for sugar and sweets, but it's also going to help us feel full longer. And that's because protein takes longer to digest. It's also going to help regulate our blood sugar levels. It's going to help us feel good and feel satiated. Not only this, but if you're looking to lose weight, protein is going to be your ultimate friend because combining with protein with strength training is going to help us build more lean tissue. And guess what? The more lean tissue we have, the more calories we burn throughout the day. And this is going to transform our body into a fat burning machine. Number 2, the second reason we fall into unhealthy snacking is boredom. Ever since COVID, many of us have been working from home, and guess what's a few steps away from our home office? That's right, it's the kitchen, right? How many times have you guys wandered into the kitchen, opened up the fridge for absolutely no reason? Or how many times have we been glued on Netflix, mindlessly snacking on a bag of chips and telling ourselves that we're only going to have a few pieces, and before we know it, the whole bag is finished, right? I get this too. Some people can't even remember what they had for lunch 2 weeks ago, let alone what they plan on having 2 weeks from now. There's a lack of planning. We're not mindful of what we're eating. And so one of the ways that we can be more mindful and to combat boredom eating or boredom snacking is by simply occupying our time better. Maybe planning out some fun time, maybe planning out some engaging activities to keep us busy throughout the day. And if you guys are watching this video, I can tell that you're interested in building healthier habits. So how about trying out some meal planning or meal prepping, or maybe doing one of my workout videos on YouTube, right? Maybe staying connected with family, friends, and loved ones, having quality time, having quality conversations, heart-to-heart connections. And so if we struggle with mindless snacking, what we want is to turn those idle moments into opportunities for fun, for growth, and for connection. Hey guys, I want to tell you about my up and coming 5-day workout challenge. It's completely free where I'll be able to coach you and train you either through Zoom or give you workout videos to do on your own. I'll be able to coach you with your nutrition and jumpstart your habits towards permanent weight loss. If this sounds interesting to you, if you want to work with me, then click the link below, fill out your application, schedule a call, and I'll see you on the other side. Number 3, the third reason why we fall into unhealthy snacking is feeling hungry. We've been there, we've had a decent meal, and then a few hours later, we're starving and we need to eat something as soon as possible, right? Now, being self-aware and realizing that you're hungry will not only improve your health, but it'll also improve your relationships, right? Let me give you an example. During my first year of marriage, my wife and I, we kept getting into these heated arguments for what seemed like no reason. Until I figured out this one line that solved 90% of our arguments. And it goes like this. Hey babe, are you hungry? Right? And after we eat something, it seems like our problems just went away. And that's because when we're hungry, we don't think logically anymore. We become emotional. We become irritable. We become hangry. And so feeling hungry, there's an easy solution. Have more food, have something to eat, right? Probably if we're feeling hungry, our portions were a little bit off. Maybe we didn't get enough vegetables or protein our last meal. Maybe our last meal was too early or our next meal was too late, right? Or maybe we didn't enjoy our last meal. When we have a meal, it's really important that it's both healthy and it's appetizing so that we curb our cravings. Timing is also important as well. If we have dinner too early in the evening and we stay up too late, chances are we're going to get hungry. So a general rule is we want to have our meals 4 hours apart. So have breakfast within 4 hours of waking up. Have lunch within 4 hours of breakfast. Have dinner within 4 hours of lunch and sleep within 4 hours of dinner. Anything more than 4 hours, we need a snack. And also, don't forget the power of hydration because sometimes we mistaken feeling hungry for feeling thirsty. So have 8 to 10 cups of water, 2 cups of water for breakfast, 2 cups of water for lunch, 2 cups of water for dinner. So before breakfast, cup of water, after breakfast, cup of water, etc. Because again, sometimes we mistaken feeling hungry for feeling thirsty. Number 4, the fourth reason why we fall into unhealthy snacking is stress eating. And this is probably one of the most common reasons why we suffer from late night snacking. Stress eating, sometimes we call that emotional eating. And when we feel stress, there's two stress hormones that gets released, adrenaline and cortisol. And these two hormones, when they get released, it puts our body into a fight or flight response. Now, if there's a lion that's about to attack us, it's really helpful for our body to either fight or to run away, to flight, right? It means that our body is responding to stress in the right way. However, most of the time, the stress that we feel is not life threatening. For example, like meeting deadlines or managing relationships, social pressure, maybe financial issues. These are all stressful situations that can put our bodies into a fight or flight response. And when we get into a fight or flight response, we need quick energy to either fight or to flight. And what better way to give us quick energy than, you guessed it, carbs and sugar? So it's not your fault that you find yourself reaching for a bag of chips or a sugary treat when stress hits. It's because your body is doing what it's naturally designed to do. So to help manage some of these stressful things, we need tools to help minimize the stress. For example, deep breathing, meditation, talking about it with a loved one, listening to some calming music, maybe sharing these stressful feelings and taking the emotional load off of your chest. Not only is this going to help your relationships, but it's going to strengthen them as well. And so, if you're dealing with stressful situations, know that you're not alone and that God never gives you a situation that you can't handle. Look at stress as an opportunity to either learn or an opportunity to grow. Number 5, the fifth reason why we fall into unhealthy snacking is feeling tired, especially after a long, exhausting day. All we want to do is just unwind and relax. But that's when temptation strikes. We end up staying up too late, scrolling through social media, or binge watching Netflix. And this is when we can fall into unhealthy snacking patterns because we only have so much willpower during the day to resist against these unwanted snacks. And so once willpower runs out, once we feel tired, once we feel fatigued, we can easily fall into temptation. And so a simple solution is just to go to sleep earlier. Make it a priority to get 8 hours of sleep. Set a bedtime routine so that you can get your body and your mind ready to sleep earlier. After dinner, brush your teeth right away. As simple as this sounds, trust me, it's going to do wonders in curbing your post-dinner snacks. Give an example. How many times has someone offered you to snack and you're like, oh man, I can't. I just brushed my teeth, right? And so when we get quality sleep, when we adopt these healthy habits, we're going to notice a significant improvement in not only our energy levels, but our overall well-being. We're going to naturally want to reduce these late night snacks. And so to summarize, identifying your trigger, identifying why you fall into snacking is going to help you reduce those cravings, right? We usually fall into one of these 5 things. Is it cravings? Is it boredom? Is it hunger? Is it stress? Or is it feeling tired? And remember, guys, when it comes to meals and snacks, it's all about balance. Our major meals make up 60% of our nutrition. Snacks can make up to 40% of our nutrition. So we have to be mindful and aware of our unhealthy snacking patterns and snack on the right things. And so by slowly eating the right things and having the right portions and making it a habit, not only are you going to lose the weight in the short term, but with the right habits, we will experience permanent weight loss. And so if you found this video helpful, make sure to comment below and use the hashtag AskCoachPatrick. And maybe next time I'll answer one of your questions. Well, guys, thanks for watching. If you're listening to a podcast, thanks for listening on a podcast. And remember, guys, you're only one habit away from permanent weight loss.